Hello guys, today we will study about axilla. Axilla is a pyramid shaped space situated between the upper part of arm and the side of the chest. So our layout consists of introduction, boundaries, contents and clinicals. Introduction. It is a pyramidal space situated between the upper part of arm and chest wall. So this is axilla. It has a lateral wall, medial wall, interior wall, posterior wall and inlet and outlet. Boundaries. So first of all we will see apex. Apex is directed upwards and medially towards the root of neck. So here we can see the apex is directed upward and medially towards the root of neck. The base or floor is directed downwards and it is found by skin, superficial fascia and axillary fascia. It extends between the interior and posterior walls. So walls of axilla, the interior wall of axilla is found by pectoralis major muscle, subclavius and pectoralis minor muscles. The posterior wall is formed by the subscapularis, latissimus dorsi and teres major muscle from above down. In the medial wall, it is formed by upper 4 or 5 ribs and the intercostal spaces which are covered by serratus interior muscle. The lateral wall is formed by the coracobrachialis and bicep muscles in the bicipital groove of the humerus. So in this diagram we can see this is interior wall of axilla and it is formed by pectoralis major, pectoralis minor and subclavius muscle. The posterior wall is formed by subscapularis, teres major and latissimus dorsi muscle. The medial wall is formed by upper 4 or 5 ribs and the intercostal spaces are covered by a serratus interior muscle. So the lateral wall is formed by coracobrachialis and bicep muscle in the bicipital groove of humerus. So this was all about the boundaries of axilla. Now we will study about contents of axilla. It contains axillary artery and its branches, axillary vein and its tributaries, lymph vessels and lymph nodes, brachial plexus, axillary fat and connective tissue. So in this diagram we can see axillary artery is shown here. It passes through the axilla and axillary vein which lies medial to the axillary artery is also shown. So here are the nerves which passes through the axilla. The brachial plexus is shown here and the brachial plexus passes through axilla and all its branches. So first of all we will see axillary artery. It is a continuation of subclavian artery. It extends from the outer border of first rib to the lower border of teres major muscle and then it continues as brachial artery. It is divided into 3 parts by pectoralis minor muscle. The first part is proximal to the muscle, the second part is deep to the muscle and the third part is distal to the muscle. So here we can see this is axillary artery and it starts from the subclavian artery and then it continues as a brachial artery. So now we see the different branches. The first part of axillary artery gives superior thoracic artery and it supplies pectoral muscles. The second part gives thoracoacromial artery which gives pectoral branch, deltoid branch, acromial branch, clavicular branch. The lateral thoracic artery supplies the lateral mammary branches to breast. And the third part of axillary artery is, gives interior circumflex humeral artery. It supplies head of humerus and shoulder joint and posterior circumflex humeral artery which supplies shoulder joint and deltoid muscle. And the third artery is subscapular artery which supplies serratus interior and latissimus dorsi muscle. So in this diagram we can see the subclavian artery continues as axillary artery. This is the first part of axillary artery and it gives highest thoracic artery, one branch, and the second part of axillary artery this gives thoracoacromial artery and the lateral thoracic artery. And the third part of axillary artery, which is distal to the pectoralis minor muscle, this gives interior and posterior circumflex humeral arteries and a subscapular artery. And the now the axillary artery here continues as a brachial artery. Now we will study about axillary vein. It is a continuation of basilic vein. It lies medial to axillary artery, and venae comitatus of brachial artery join axillary vein at the lower border of teres major muscle. And at the outer border of first rib it becomes subclavian vein. Tributaries correspond to the branches of axillary arteries, and there is no thoracoacromial artery present here. And now we will go through the axillary lymph nodes, and the lymph node groups present in axilla are interior, pectoral, posterior, scapular, lateral, central and apical or infraclavicular lymph nodes. The location, the interior pectoral lymph nodes are present at the lower border of pectoralis minor muscle along lateral thoracic vessels. The posterior lymph nodes are present posterior to the fold of axilla along subscapular vessels. The lateral lymph nodes are present at the upper part of humerus medial to axillary vein, and the central lymph nodes are present at the fat of upper axilla, and the apical or infraclavicular lymph nodes are present deep to clavipectoral fascia along axillary vessels. Now we will see about the drainage of these axillary lymph nodes. And interior group drains above interior group drains upper half of trunk and breast. Posterior group drains posterior wall of the upper half of trunk and axillary tail. The lateral group drains upper limb, and the central group drains receive lymph from preceding groups and drain them into the apical. And the apical group receive lymph from central group upper part of breast and thumb. So here we can see this is the infraclavicular group, apical group, central group, and lateral group, interior group, and posterior group of lymph nodes are shown in this diagram. And the last is the clinical infection of hair follicles and sebaceous glands, enlargement of axillary lymph node, axillary abscess, axillary artery compression. So this was all about the axilla. Thank you very much for watching my video. Please subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.